Mercedes is trying to understand what happened to its car during the Singapore GP weekend, as the cars performed very well in qualifying, with its two drivers finishing in third and fourth place. But during the race, the drivers were unable to stay in the fight for the podium, with Russell finishing in fourth place and Hamilton in sixth. Hamilton was very unhappy with his car, as his team's strategy ended up not working, with them betting on starting the race with soft tires in search of a good start and good first laps, which did not happen, and the pace was well below expectations. Analyzing what happened in this race, track engineering director Andrew Chauvelin understands that the car was really extremely bad in this last race, which set off alarm bells throughout the team, as it made no sense to qualify so close to Norris and Verstappen and then not be able to fight for the podium. Chauvelin says that this was the reason they chose to have Hamilton start with soft tires, as they believed that on the first lap, he would gain some positions towards the podium. Citing the problems they had, he states that the temperature of the rear tires was the most critical part to control, which ended up damaging the race of both drivers and throwing Hamilton's strategy out the window, since he couldn't push too hard with those tires without damaging them quickly. Because of this, they had to change strategy during the race, with Russell going on the defensive, not worrying about defending himself from Piastri, since it would be practically impossible, but focusing on at least limiting the damage and holding off Leclerc's Ferrari. But Mercedes isn't all bad news after this weekend, as Chauvelin reveals that for the next race, the United States GP, held in Austin, they will bring a major update to this car, perhaps the biggest one they have brought this season. This should be the last major package of updates that will be brought to this car this season, with a new revised floor being installed on the cars, since the last one that was brought ended up failing and the performance did not come, bringing with it some problems and all this instability that we have seen in the last races, with the problems getting worse at the Singapore GP and forcing some riskier decisions for the next races. After this update, the team still has some smaller ones planned, aiming to prepare this car as much as possible for the next season, where they should use a car very similar to the one they finished 2024, aiming to save resources to invest in the 2026 car. Well, great expectations for this next race. But tell me in the comments, do you bet that Mercedes will end this season on a high note with perhaps a few more victories?